Yo, what's up guys? PayDroV here, coming to you with a new video. The Momo Challenge. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys heard of this before. It started trending last year. Police and schools are issuing warnings to parents on social media after a popular WhatsApp challenge has resurfaced. In the United Kingdom, the Momo game, or Momo Challenge, gained international recognition last summer and was initially considered a hoax, quickly becoming a widespread meme in August 2018. Law enforcement investigated the influence of Momo of the death of a 12-year-old in Argentina, worrying parents globally to potentially real dangers of the challenge. So I also have been seeing this on Facebook lately about people saying, I'm not gonna watch no more YouTube for me and my kids and stuff stuff like that. But the thing is, guys, it's not just YouTube. Momo is appearing on Fortnite, FaceTime, and all sorts of apps. It's exactly like the Slender Man, and Slender Man has been around since the early 2000s. And there's really no stopping it, guys. I mean, it's a pretty messed up world, and Slender Man went after kids too. Remember those two 12-year-olds from Wisconsin that stabbed their friend almost to death? Slender Man convinced them to do it. So this could be a very new version of it. But with that all being said, guys, um, be cautious, be vigilant, stay open-minded. Um, enjoy the video, guys. God bless you guys.
What this disturbing Momo challenge is?
Yes, it is a very strange name, but it is very disturbing and it's important to talk about. So this challenge involves people taking commands from unknown numbers and social media accounts for 50 days. And the part that's extremely concerning is the dangerous tasks that the so-called Momo character is asking players to perform.
In New Jersey are warning parents of a disturbing social media challenge that's encouraging children to do dangerous things. The Momo Challenge, as it's called, encourages children to contact Momo, an anonymous cyberbully who uses this avatar you're looking at through Facebook or the app WhatsApp. Momo asks children to play a game, then encourages players to post pictures or videos of violent acts. If they refuse, the cyberbully resorts to blackmail and threats. Monmouth County prosecutors warning parents to monitor their children's online activity.
Officials are warning adults of an online challenge that encourages kids to harm themselves.
New this morning, police say they haven't heard of it targeting kids in our state yet, but it's only a matter of time before something like this reaches North Dakota.
Now, Becky Farr is live now with more on the disturbing Momo challenge. Hi, Becky.
Tim and Alicia, Momo's image in itself is pretty scary to look at. You'll see it in a moment here. But what she tells kids to do is even more scary. School resource officer Casey Sandusky told me that Momo instructs kids to do dangerous or self-harming activities, and that if they don't, bad things will happen to them or the people close to them. The online challenge has reached kids in neighboring states, across the country, and even all over the world. Momo usually appears on the social media app WhatsApp, but it's unclear how she finds her targets. So adults are encouraged to have open communication about what their kids are seeing online.
Kids may not come forward and say, hey, I'm having this problem, but if you ask them about it, just ask questions. How was your day? Anything new on social media that you want to talk about, having that open line so that kids feel comfortable either coming to you as an adult or maybe a teacher or another staff member at the school.
While social media can be a lot to keep up with, Sandusky said online gaming has also been a safety risk. Games like Fortnite have kids communicating with strangers, so that's another platform to talk openly with your kids about. Sandusky also advised limiting your kids' screen time and monitoring what apps they use.
You know, I remember being a kid growing up with the internet, and it can be a scary thing. So you want to talk with your parents, and parents should talk to kids. Yeah.
Is a very serious issue, and there's a new form on social media affecting teens throughout the world. KTK's Olivia Sandusky joins us live in the newsroom. And Olivia, what should parents be on the lookout for?
Well, Isaac, they should be on the lookout for this new form that's called the Momo Challenge. And while that may sound kind of like a harmless name, police are warning parents about this form of cyberbullying that is used to threaten kids and teenagers. Okay, so now this is how it works. When teens are on social media, they'll be asked to accept a friend request from Momo, who usually has this scary avatar in their image. Then Momo gives them a series of risky or self-harming tasks and sends personal threats if they refuse to do them. Here in Texas, the Corpus Christi Montessori School sent out a message to their parents to be aware of this threat, and East Texas counselors are offering advice on how parents can help prevent their kids from engaging with cyberbullies.
Parents need to have guidelines set in their home to know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, what's healthy and what's unhealthy, and who they have on their internet, you know, who are their friends listed. And parents need to ask the child to look at that, you know, to share information about that, not to be secretive.
Over in Colombia, local media has reported about 2 suicides that are possibly connected to the Momo Challenge. They continue to ask parents to talk to their kids as the cyberbullying issue spreads. Now, with this case, the Momo image is pretty recognizable, so parents should be able to pick up on it if they see it on their kids' social media. And experts are still suggesting that parents approach this topic positively so that kids won't be afraid to come to their parents if they are being threatened. Reporting live in the newsroom, Olivia Sandusky, KETK News.
Well, only on 12 News, a dangerous new internet craze is raising concerns tonight. And as a parent, I can tell you this is a story that all parents need to see.
The Momo Challenge begins with a text to a random number on the free messaging app WhatsApp. A strange, warped image of a woman responds back, asking the user to perform a series of escalating dares that ultimately would end in suicide.
Team 12's Ryan Cody is joining us now in the studio. And Ryan, you spoke to a Valley mom who knows the dangers of the internet all too well.
Well, because she lives the dangers and the awful consequences of this whole thing every single day. You know, this isn't the first sinister challenge that's infiltrated our kids' lives. You might remember the Blue Whale Challenge, claiming the life of a 17-year-old Queen Creek boy in February. Now his mother is pleading others to pay attention before it's too late.
It's just hard to have to come here to visit your son. I mean, nobody wants to do that.
More than a year later, and Deanna Bencomo is still puzzled about why her son committed suicide.
His psychiatrist told me he wasn't even depressed. So what was it?
But before taking his own life, Rudy Bencomo changed his Twitter profile picture, adding blue waves. That's one of the final tasks in the Blue Whale Challenge, a social media phenomenon demanding users complete a series of challenges, ultimately ending in suicide.
In my story, social media is a big part of why my son took his life.
She's visiting her son as yet another sinister suicide challenge sweeps the internet, where a character known as Momo is texting users, threatening harm to people they love if they don't complete several tasks. First, things like self-mutilation, and when the user is scared enough to comply, Momo tells them to commit suicide.
Having another person telling you that it's okay and that you should do it and encouraging you is definitely a huge risk factor.
The challenge claiming its first life in India this week, but kids and teens all over the world are already talking to the criminals behind Momo.
It's just like any other predator that gets on the computer and tries to lure your kids in.
Deanna's heart is breaking all over again, not only for her son, but for others who desperately need to know they're not alone.
I used to say, there's no way my kid's a good kid. He wouldn't do something like that. And look, here I am today.
Well, there's only one confirmed case of a teenager actually killing themselves because of this Momo challenge. But remember, it's nearly impossible to know for sure why without asking the user themselves. And guys, it is all over the internet. You can just go search for this right now. And whether you want to admit it or not, this is stuff that our kids can see if we're not paying attention to it.
At just 12, these 2 girls nearly took another classmate's life. Last May, they lured her to a wooded area where police say they stabbed her 19 times. Video of their interrogation being made public for the first time.
Who stabbed her first?
I think Anissa stabbed her first, and then I continued, and then she was like, Morgan, make sure she doesn't escape. She told me that she got her in the lung right here 6 times, and then in the leg a few times.
The criminal complaint says the victim, who was also 12, was badly wounded. One knife strike coming so close to her heart, the criminal complaint says she was 1 millimeter away from certain death. Still, she survived. Not exactly how her attackers, Anissa Weir and Morgan Geyser, were hoping this would end. Listen.
So we told her we were gonna get help, but we really weren't. We were gonna run and let her pass away. So we ran.
The girls also told detectives how they each took part in the stabbing. This is their supply list. Notice the kitchen knife?
So then how did you get the knife from Anissa?
She sort of just shoved it into my hand, and there it was. And then I didn't know what I did. It sort of just happened. It didn't feel like anything. It was like air.
Incredibly, the victim managed to crawl out of the woods. A bike rider found her and got her to the hospital. The young suspects were arrested soon after, both charged as adults with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. When investigators asked why they did it, they both had the same answer: Slender Man. And this is where a violent and nearly murderous act becomes simply bizarre. Slender Man is a fictional internet monster, a ghoul who lurks in chat rooms and some of the internet's darkest corners. He's faceless, often portrayed in a dark suit with octopus-like tentacles. Slender Man is believed to haunt children and those who look to expose him. Police say the two attackers said they first encountered Slender Man on the website Creepypasta Wiki. They thought he was real, police say, and that if they didn't kill their classmate, then Slender Man would hurt them or their families.
When you guys were walking, you thought you saw Slender as you were walking? This was after Morgan stabbed her. And he has tendrils that are very sharp.
Did you see him in your dreams, or where do you see him at?
Oh, I've seen him in my dreams.
Evidence presented in court shows what was found in Morgan Geyser's bedroom: dozens of disturbing drawings and numerous disfigured Barbie dolls, many with the Slender Man symbol on them. All proof, the defense team says, the girls truly believe Slender Man is real.
Truth be told, I wanted to be locked up so that I couldn't hurt her, but that time has passed, and now I'm in here because we were careless. I knew this would happen. I knew we'd get in trouble.